Welcome to Comic Construction. Let's check out the Build, Art, and Story of the Lone Ranger Definitive Edition, Volume 1, written by Brett Matthews, with art by Sergio Cariello and Paul Pope, letters by Simon Rowland, and colors by Dean White and Marcel Pinto, published by Dynamite. John Cassady is credited as the cover artist and art director. This hardcover is 8 1/4 by 12.5 inches and has 320 pages. And it comes in a slip case that is 8 7/16 by 12 1/4 inches. So it's basically the size of a DC Absolute. The dust cover has 4-color printing on a very glossy sheet. There are no other coatings or anything on there. And then the book cover is textured black board with silver metallic printing. So on the front cover you get just the title of the book, and on the spine you get the title, the Dynamite logo, a volume number, and the last names of the creators. The binding is sewn with a light gray head ribbon. It's probably supposed to be silver. And the book has a flat spine. And there is a silver ribbon bookmark that is included as part of the binding. The interior sheet is a thin semi-gloss, similar to a Big 2 omnibus. So it's kind of unfortunate. You do see some waviness in the paper from the printing process because there is water used in printing, so that sometimes that moisture can cause like these thinner papers to get a little wrinkly or wavy in it. Sergio Cariello does most of the art, and by that I mean like there's one small story about a wolf that Paul Pope does, but everything else is by Cariello, whose style, despite being very modern, feels really right for a Western story like this. It's cartoony and expressive in the right ways. And Cariello is really good at drawing horses, which is very important for a Western story like this. His silver is really amazing. Brett Matthews and John Cassady set out to modernize the Lone Ranger, and they do that fairly successfully. Some of the details are a bit grimdark for my taste. Like, I'm not a fan of the Lone Ranger's mask being created using the vest of his dead brother, and the eye holes basically being bullet holes. That's pretty intense, but that's what they gave us. I'm not really, that's a little too dramatic for me. The relationship between the Lone Ranger and Tonto is fairly hostile, but interesting. Tonto is both more merciless and more philosophical than he's usually portrayed, so that was a really cool duality. This book tells the origin of the Lone Ranger, but it really is just the beginning, which is somewhat sad. Like, the story doesn't stand on its own that well. So, when I think of the great origin stories, or the ones like the retellings of origins, or the reimagining of origins is probably more accurate, I think of Miller and Mazzucchelli's Batman Year One, which is a brilliant start for Batman, but also just a great standalone story. This is entertaining enough, but I didn't think it was great. It was interesting, though, to get to read the origin of these characters in this iteration, because these are the characters that are featured in that brilliant Lone Ranger series from Mark Russell and Bob Quinn. Thanks for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, and share with a friend.